Broker Bulletin acknowledges the traditional custodians of all the lands across the country on which we record our podcast and pays its respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. Welcome to the Broker Bulletin podcast, where better begins. Join us as we chat with brokers about what's working for them, what drives them, and the real challenges and wins that matter most right now.
Hey everyone, welcome to a brand new episode of Broker Bulletin. I'm Grace Ormsby, and we all know how important it is to create customer experiences that keep clients coming back time and time again. But how do we actually go about it? I'm joined by Paulette Trotter, a loan market mortgage advisor from New Zealand, and what we more commonly refer to as a broker in Australia. So Paulette has absolutely mastered the art of generating repeat referral business. And Paulette, thanks so much for joining me today. It's so great to have this chat.
Thanks for having me.
Paulette, we did just hear you up on stage at the Top 250 Sales Symposium down here in Melbourne. That's why we've got a little bit of ambiance sound today. We're coming live from on-site in Melbourne, but you did mention that 30% of your business now is coming from new clients, and that's it. Talk us through that split, because that is quite an interesting split to have 70% of people coming from return and existing clients.
Yeah. The book's now nearly 8 years old, so I certainly couldn't have done that to start with, or even the first 4 years it wasn't like that. So it's evolved over time. However, at least 70% is existing clients now that come back, either topping up because they want to do some renovations, or they're buying and selling, or they're buying an investment property. They're what we want to focus on, not just new time. And has changed.
Speaking about that focus, do you like it being that 70-30 split? Is that ideal for you?
In terms of dollar values, a top-up, you can do the same amount of work as a brand new client. So that's probably the con of it. But the pro of it is we know those customers. And so that application's a lot easier in the sense that, we're only updating information. We know their history, that type of stuff. So it's easier to process, but nearly the same type of information we need when it's a top-up or a brand new home loan.
So how many clients are you able to service well since you've got their information already?
So my goal would be to submit at least 40 to 50 applications a month. And so invariably 70% is ones we already know. So 30% are the new ones. And it's definitely changed. Equally, I don't need to be involved as much in those existing clients. I can focus on the new because a team already know that the existing already know me. I don't have to prove myself. They're already happy with us. They've come back for a reason, and there's less work for me personally. The team handle the existing. I'm able to focus on the new.
Well, did you make a conscious decision to go repeat and referral is where it's at?
I did, but I didn't do it well to begin with, to be honest. So when I left the corporate banking world, I used to always see the banks focus on new sales, and they were never really worried about the existing clients, and they were full off the back end. So consciously, I always wanted to focus, look after my existing, because they're the ones that have helped me succeed, I guess. I didn't really do it as well as I thought I initially would when I started out in this role, and it's evolved by listening to what other people do, implementing different processes. And it's definitely evolved from 8 years ago to what it is today. Like how I look after existing clients is hugely different and way better. So it's always something I wanted to do. I didn't do it well to start with. I've learned to do it better, and that's what's helped for those customers to come back.
So there obviously was a point then, Paulette, when this did click for you. If it's been kind of your goal from the beginning, but you said that some of the systems and processes weren't in place. Was there a time period that you did feel you really hit your stride when it comes to repeat referral?
When I got it right?
Yeah.
Probably in the last couple of years when the market in New Zealand's been really slow, really flat, there hasn't been that new client there. So we've had to focus on existing clients. Even during COVID, when we were locked up in Auckland, felt like forever. We had to focus on our existing clients because people couldn't get out of their house to go and buy a new house. So probably around, the COVID period. And that's the time when we were doing a lot of training. I was listening to what other people were doing, going, I don't have this right. And we changed it. We implemented more team members and changed how we do things.
So you mentioned more team members. What other things came into play that really, really helped you? What systems and processes did you experiment with? Did you go, this might actually work? And what's that look like now?
So just in New Zealand, very different to Australia, 90% of customers fix their loans as opposed to float. And so to begin with, I wasn't really good at contacting them and helping them refix. I didn't have the systems in place like I do now, whereas now we have an automated lead that goes out. We set a task, we follow them up after 2 weeks, close to now refix because we're in a reducing market environment. We're in touch again. If we can't get hold of them, we ring them. And all of a sudden they've remembered, because if they haven't fixed their loan for 2 years, it's easy to forget who Paulette Trotter is. And it just helps them remember who we are or why we're here. And that reminds them to come back to us when they want to buy a boat or renovate or upgrade their house or whatever. I mean, we don't retain every single customer. I wish we did, but we don't. But we do retain a really high portion. And it's those touch points after settlement. It's those touch points. We now do a 6-month call. One of my staff members said that's the best thing ever implemented. It wasn't my idea. It was something from a conference I learned. A lot of stuff I do is what I've listened to other people do. Yeah, it's all those touch points we do now that I wasn't doing initially, which has really changed those clients coming back.
How many touch points would you say there are? Just a ballpark figure. Obviously, every client's going to be different, but...
So just to run through really quickly, we send a settlement email. After 6 weeks they settle, we send another email. 6 months we give them a call. If they've refixed for 12 months, we contact them then, or it's a 12-month review. So whenever they refix for a 12-month review, we send them to a touch point at that time.
Amazing. And that's obviously just been built into the calendar.
Yep. So I've got team members now that are responsible. The 12-month reviews, if they don't come back, I don't follow them up. We've sent that email, but refixes, we really do follow up to try and help them with that process. And I think that's really important in terms of encouraging them to come back to us and remember what we did to begin with. Because it's easy to forget, if you haven't talked to someone for 2 years, it's like, who are you to?
Yeah. And I'm curious, even for the ones that you don't hear from, say, post 12 months.
Yes.
Do many of them still come back because they have had those touch points?
I think if I was talking about when I joined in 2017, maybe not so much. Whereas now, because we do those 12-month reviews and we do that 6-month call, a high percentage do come back. It's definitely turned. I wasn't good at it to begin with. It's something that's evolved. It's something that's always really important to me. I just didn't do it well to begin with. I learned to do it better.
So keeping with that theme of creating then a client for life, essentially, how do you define a client for life? Is it that they come back every 12 months? Is it that they are looking to upgrade, downgrade, they come to you? And what is that kind of mindset? How do you get involved in that rather than just keeping it with the team?
Everything comes to Paulette Trotter email box, and then I divvy it out, or my assistant divvies it out amongst the team members. So everything still comes into the inbox. Client for life to me is we are helping them with their refixes. We are helping them make lump sum payments. When they've had a life event that hasn't gone to plan, we are helping them with interest only or guiding them through a good holiday, and we are helping them buy and sell. So it's not all the good stuff that we're helping with. It's, I'm having a baby loan interest only. We don't get paid to do that. We always do it. It's all part of, I believe, the service proposition, because in 3 years' time, when they've had that baby, they might be great. Whereas if I sent them to the bank, why would they come back to me? Just, coming off when they probably needed me the most. So it's anything to do with their home loan, I encourage them to come back to me, and that's why I say that's why I've got a big team of people to help me. It's because it's all that admin stuff we're happy to help with. It's all part of our service proposition.
And how do they know that when they first get in touch with Paulette Trotter? Because some of them wouldn't even know, I'm guessing, what a mortgage holiday is or what an interest-only period would mean.
Yes.
So there's obviously an element of education there.
So I don't talk about when I first meet them. So when I first meet them, it's all about dealing with what they're wanting to achieve at the moment, which is buy a house, right? Or top up their loan or restructure their loan or whatever. So it's always, however, in New Zealand, we always have it's at least a 2-meeting process when it is for me. First meeting is doing the new application, understanding them and their goals, etc. The second meeting is, because we fix loans in New Zealand, it's understanding how we're going to structure that loan. Is it fixed? Is it floating? Is it a combination? All that type of stuff. So at that structure meeting, that's when I talk about, I do the structure meeting and I always try and end it with, now, we don't just do your first part of your line and go, you'll probably now go to the bank. I actually do say that. I say, we're here in with your mortgage, you've just got to email me. That's why I've got a big team of people. If you want to make a lump sum payment, we're here to help. We'll be helping you with your refixing your loans, all that type of stuff. So I always say at the structure meeting, however, the 6-month phone call, we also remind them about what that conversation was, because they've just bought a house. It's really hard to remember everything Paulette said. So that 6-month phone call after they've settled has been probably pivotal in terms of how people have come back. That's been probably a game changer for us, I believe.
And on that 6-month thing, how many people are ready at that point to do something else?
Generally, not many.
Not many.
But
it's worthwhile.
Yes, we don't do it for a sales thing. Yeah. So we remind them we can top up, we remind them we'll help with the refix. The purpose is not to sell. So it's all about that service proposition. The sales just come anyway. So the whole purpose of the call is to stay in touch and remember us type thing. There's never a purpose to sell. And I would say, how many sales do we get out of it? I'm not even sure if it's any, to be honest. However, the team have said it's one of the best things I've implemented for the year.
I mean,
it wasn't my idea.
Yeah, it'll be cool to watch that because you'll probably start getting some stats on and how useful that's been.
Yeah.
On the repeat referral side of things, when do you talk to them about referring their friends, or is there any dialogue that you have with the clients when they come to you to go, hey, if you know anyone else, we'd love to chat to them or help them as well? Does that form part of this referral
I used
program?
To, as part of my structure meeting, talk about that and ask for referrals and things like that. I don't now. I believe that just giving that really consistent service from day one right to the buying process, people will start telling their friends about me right from the get-go. I get referrals and they haven't bought a house yet. Equally, when they do settle, part of my settlement email is telling friends and family about us, but it's the only time we ever mention it is on that settlement email, and I never mention it before then. I just think doing the basics right, which is the service, answering their phone. I don't actually always answer their phone, but returning the calls, responding to their emails, the team supporting me to do that because I can't phone everybody. It's just all those basic things.
How do you track referrals?
I don't.
You don't?
Well, I probably could because in my calendar, so when I get a referral, I generally do not have the capacity to phone them straight away. If they do phone me, I leave a voice message. Obviously, that's one thing. A lot of people these days email or they send a lead through my website. So invariably I'm back-to-back meetings during that day from 9:30 to 4 and up to 5. That's not my best time to be talking to someone because I'm tired. So I'll email them back going, I'll ring you at this time tomorrow morning. So my whole calendar is either an appointment or half an hour slot is when I'm ringing somebody. So I could probably track it if I wanted to, but I don't. They just come in and out.
Amazing. So when you're talking about focusing some of your time on the new clients, are they oftentimes those referred clients that you're talking about?
Yes. So my focus, I guess, a lot of my day is on new customers and the admin team support the existing clients. Where an existing client wants to speak to me, they'll chuck that in my calendar, but most of my calendar is all about new because I've got a team of people that help me with the existing. And if I need to have a meeting with the existing, that just gets chucked in my calendar. Majority is new.
So beyond, Paulette, the 6-month call being one of the biggest game changers that you have brought in to really supercharge the referral client base, what are some of the other things that you have brought in as part of that, the easy wins that have really helped you along this journey?
Easy wins would be our refix process. So I listened to somebody else in New Zealand of their process and took a whole heap from that. And it's all about, you can know that their refix is up. Generally, people don't respond straight away, so following up after 2 weeks. If they still don't respond, we follow up again in 4 weeks' time. At the moment, 4 weeks because it's close to refix. If they haven't responded, we're picking up the phone and talking to them. But they're during that period with my emails are getting guidance of what I recommend they should do. So generally people are like, yep, sweet, I know what I'm going to do. But we always make sure we touch them at some point. If they haven't replied to an email, we pick up the phone. And actually picking up the phone has been great. And having my team be confident to do that has made a huge difference.
What's next for you? What are you hoping to achieve next?
More work-life balance. And probably more work-life balance, making sure I retain my staff. So as we said today, every staff member that's joined me hasn't left. However, that's mean to say they're not going to leave tomorrow. So what do I need to do to, they're all really great. What do I need to do to ensure they stay around? And I guess just keep doing what I'm doing, but maybe having a bit more balance in my life.
Amazing. How does all those things that you want to do to grow the business then tie in with the way that you're treating clients and having this really strong referral base?
In terms of retaining clients and continually getting more repeat business from our existing clients, it just comes down to the basics of providing that level of service. So, for example, if someone rings my phone, I can always tell by looking at Siri if it's an existing client. I'll always, even if I don't get a message, return their call, or I'll get one of my team to call, go and send a missed call. Is there something we can help with? I think it's just those basics to let them know that we haven't forgotten about them. Then they know that I still care, even though I know I'm busy, but I still care about them. So when they're at their barbecue next week, they'll still think I'm great because I've returned their call and I never even left a message. It's just those little things that I try and do. Whereas sometimes if I don't know the number and I'm really smashed, I know it's not my client, I verbally want to return their call, but I don't. An existing customer, I always really try to return their calls, even if I don't leave a message.
It's so simple.
Yeah.
Something that everyone can do every day of the week. Paulette, thank you so much for sharing your time today. We know how busy you are dealing with so many clients, but we really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to Broker Bulletin. We would hate for you to miss an episode. Subscribe to Broker Bulletin in your favourite podcast app. Has this episode been helpful? We'd love you to rate and review us. It'll help us deliver content that's useful to you and help others discover us. If you have great ideas for topics worth tackling or have burning questions you'd like addressed on an upcoming episode, reach out. Links in the show notes. See you next time.